Hello, dear listeners, and welcome to our podcast. Today, we talk about global politics. It is how countries work together, make rules, and solve problems. Every country has leaders, but they cannot do everything alone. They need to talk with other countries about trade, peace, and the environment. Some countries are strong and others are small, but all are connected in some way.
Politics is about decisions. When leaders from different countries meet, they talk about big problems. They may talk about war, money, or climate change. Some countries help each other, but sometimes they do not agree. They might have different ideas about what is good. This can lead to arguments or even fights. But talking is important because it helps to keep peace in the world.
Countries work together in different ways. Some form groups, like the United Nations, where many countries meet to discuss big problems. Others make agreements about trade, where they buy and sell things without high taxes. Sometimes, countries help each other in emergencies, like after a big storm or earthquake. Working together can make the world safer and better for everyone.
But not all countries agree. Some want more power and control. They may use their armies to take land or force others to follow their rules. This can cause conflicts and even wars. That is why leaders talk and try to find peaceful solutions. If they do not talk, small problems can become big problems. Good communication is key to avoiding war and keeping people safe.
When leaders cannot agree, other countries sometimes step in to help. They might act as mediators, helping both sides find a solution. Big countries often have more power in these talks, but smaller countries also have a voice. Some leaders choose to be fair and look for peace, while others focus only on their own interests. The way they act can change the world.
Politics is not just about war and peace. It is also about trade, education, and health. Some countries share new medicines or help build schools. Others work together to protect the environment. If one country has a problem, it can affect many others. That is why global politics is so important. The decisions made today will shape our future.
One big part of global politics is money. Countries need strong economies to grow and help their people. Some countries are rich while others struggle with poverty. To help, rich countries sometimes lend money or invest in poorer countries, but this can also create problems. If a country borrows too much, it may not be able to pay it back, leading to economic trouble.
Trade is another big topic in global politics. Countries sell things they are good at making and buy things they need. For example, some countries grow a lot of food while others make technology. If trade is fair, both sides benefit. But sometimes, big countries use their power to get better deals, which can hurt smaller countries. That is why trade agreements are important.
Sometimes, countries put taxes on products from other places to protect their own businesses. This is called a trade barrier. While it can help local businesses, it can also make products more expensive. Some countries argue about these taxes, and it can lead to trade wars. Instead of fighting with weapons, they fight by stopping trade, which can harm both sides.
To make trade fair, countries create rules. Organizations like the World Trade Organization help solve problems between countries. They make sure that trade is open and fair for everyone. But not all countries follow the rules, and this can cause conflicts. That is why global politics is always changing. Leaders must make smart decisions to keep trade fair and economies strong.
Another big issue in global politics is climate change. The world is getting hotter, and this affects everyone. Some countries face more storms, floods, or wildfires. Others lose farmland because of droughts. To solve this problem, countries must work together. They sign agreements to reduce pollution and use clean energy, but not all countries follow the rules.
Some countries depend on oil and coal for money, so they do not want to stop using them. Others invest in solar and wind energy to protect the planet. Rich countries create more pollution, but poorer countries suffer the most from climate change. This is why leaders meet at global events to discuss how to share responsibility and find fair solutions.
Climate change is not just about weather, it also affects people's lives. When land becomes too dry, farmers cannot grow food. When the sea level rises, people lose their homes. Some people must move to other countries, and this creates new challenges. Leaders must decide how to help these people while protecting their own citizens. This is not easy.
Politics plays a big role in climate action. Some leaders make strong laws to reduce pollution, while others do not believe climate change is a problem. Protests and activism also shape decisions. People around the world demand change, and leaders must listen. The future of our planet depends on global cooperation, smart policies, and responsible leadership.
Another important part of global politics is human rights. Every person deserves freedom, safety, and respect. But in some countries, people do not have these rights. They may not be allowed to speak freely, vote, or practice their religion. Some governments control people too much, and this leads to protests, conflicts, and sometimes even wars.
When human rights are violated, other countries and organizations step in. The United Nations and human rights groups work to protect people. Sometimes, countries use sanctions, which means they stop trade or money deals to punish a government. In serious cases, countries may send help or even military support. But these actions can also create political tensions.
The world has different ideas about rights. In some places, women and men have equal rights, but in others, women cannot go to school or work freely. In some countries, people can choose their leaders, but in others, one person or group stays in power for many years. These differences make human rights a difficult topic in global politics.
Technology also affects human rights. The internet helps people share ideas, but some governments block websites or control news. Social media can spread truth, but also lies. Some leaders use technology to watch people and limit freedom. This is why global politics must focus on fair laws to protect both security and personal freedom.
Another big issue in global politics is immigration. People move to other countries for many reasons. Some look for better jobs, others escape war, and some leave because of natural disasters. Immigration affects both the country people leave and the country they enter. Some countries welcome immigrants, while others make strict rules to control who can enter.
Immigration can help countries grow. When people move to a new place, they bring skills, ideas, and culture. They work in jobs that help the economy, but some people worrying that too many immigrants might take jobs or change traditions. This creates debates in politics. Leaders must decide how many people can enter and what rules they must follow.
Some immigrants leave their homes because of danger. They are called refugees. Refugees escape war, violence, or extreme poverty. Many countries help by giving them a safe place to live, but this is not always easy. Some countries say they cannot accept too many refugees because they do not have enough housing or jobs for them. This makes immigration a difficult issue.
To manage immigration, countries make agreements. Some share responsibility, while others close their borders. Global organizations, like the United Nations, try to find fair solutions. The challenge is to balance security, economy, and human rights. Immigration will always be part of global politics because people will always move in search of a better life.
Technology is changing global politics in many ways. Countries use advanced technology to improve their economies, protect their security, and even influence other nations. Governments use satellites, artificial intelligence, and cyber tools to collect information. But technology can also be a danger. Cyber attacks can harm businesses, steal information, and even disrupt elections.
Some countries use technology to control their people. They watch what people do online, block websites, and limit free speech. Others use technology to spread false news and influence people in other countries. This is called misinformation, and it can change how people think about politics. Leaders must find ways to protect truth and freedom in the digital world.
Artificial intelligence is another big topic. AI can help businesses grow and make life easier, but it also replaces jobs. Some leaders worrying that AI will make many people lose work, while others believe it will create new jobs. AI is also used in weapons and military decisions, which makes it a serious issue in global security and politics.
To manage technology, countries create international agreements. They work together to stop cybercrime, protect personal data, and make fair rules for AI. But not all countries follow the same rules, and some use technology to gain more power. Global politics must keep up with these fast changes to ensure technology is used in a safe and fair way.
Another key issue in global politics is international organizations. These groups help countries work together on big problems. The United Nations, or UN, helps with peace, human rights, and disaster relief. The World Health Organization focuses on health issues like diseases. These organizations bring leaders together to make important decisions for the world.
While these groups do good work, they also face challenges. Some countries do not always follow the rules. Others think these organizations have too much power. Big countries often have more influence, while smaller countries feel unheard. This can cause disagreements and make it harder to solve global problems. Cooperation is not always easy.
Some organizations focus on money and trade. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank help countries with financial problems. They lend money and give advice, but some say their rules are unfair. When rich countries have more control over these groups, poorer countries may not get the help they truly need. Fairness in global politics is a big debate.
International organizations are important because they create unity. When countries work together, they can solve problems faster. But for these groups to succeed, all countries must respect agreements and share responsibilities. Global politics is about balance, finding ways for nations to cooperate while respecting their differences. This is the challenge leaders face today.
War and conflict have always been part of global politics. Some wars happen between countries, while others happen inside a country. Wars destroy cities, kill people, and force families to leave their homes. Leaders try to prevent war through diplomacy, which means talking and making agreements. But when diplomacy fails, conflicts can turn into serious battles.
One major cause of war is the fight for power. Some leaders want more land, resources, or control. Others fight because of religion, history, or ethnic differences. Sometimes, countries support different sides in a conflict, making it even worse. These conflicts do not only affect soldiers, civilians also suffer. Many people lose their homes, and children grow up in fear.
The global response to war is complex. Some countries try to stop wars by sending peacekeepers, offering aid, or helping to rebuild. Others take sides and provide weapons, making the conflict last longer. The United Nations works to bring peace, but not all countries agree on solutions. This is why ending wars is so difficult in global politics.
Another big issue is refugees. When war happens, many people run away to safer countries. These refugees need food, shelter, and jobs, but not all countries want to accept them. Some say taking in refugees is a duty, while others worrying about their economy and security. Finding a fair solution is one of the hardest challenges in politics today.
Weapons also play a huge role in global conflicts. Some countries have strong armies with advanced weapons, while others rely on outside help. Nuclear weapons are the most dangerous because they can destroy entire cities. Many leaders try to stop the spread of nuclear weapons, but some countries still build them. The fear of war affects how countries make political decisions.
Even in times of peace, Countries prepare for possible conflicts. They form military alliances to protect themselves. NATO is one example. Countries in this group promise to defend each other. While alliances can prevent attacks, they can also create tensions. When one country makes a move, others react, and this can lead to serious conflicts.
Despite all these dangers, diplomacy and peace talks continue. Some wars end through negotiations, where leaders agree to stop fighting and find a peaceful solution. Organizations like the United Nations and peace groups work hard to stop violence. History shows that war is terrible, but it also shows that peace is possible when leaders choose to listen and compromise.
The future of global politics depends on smart leadership. Wars do not only affect the countries involved, they affect the whole world. Trade stops, economies suffer, and innocent people get hurt. Leaders must learn from history, use diplomacy wisely, and work together to create a safer world. Peace is not easy, but with the right choices, it is always possible.
The future of global politics is always changing. New challenges appear, and leaders must make important decisions. Some problems, like war and climate change, have existed for a long time. Others, like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, are new. The way countries work together or against each other will shape the world for the next generation. That is why global politics matters to everyone.
One of the biggest challenges is trust between countries. Some leaders want to work together, while others only think about their own power. When trust is broken, conflicts start. This is why agreements and diplomacy are important. A simple conversation between two leaders can prevent a war. At the same time, a bad decision can create years of problems.
Elections also shape global politics. In democratic countries, people vote for their leaders. These leaders then make decisions that affect not only their country, but also the whole world. If a leader supports peace, trade, and cooperation, relationships between countries improve. But if a leader focuses only on their own country, tensions can grow. This is why people's votes are powerful.
Another challenge is technology. The world is more connected than ever before. News spreads quickly, and political decisions happen fast. Some countries use social media to share information, while others use it to spread false news. The internet can bring people together, but it can also create divisions. Leaders must find ways to manage technology responsibly.
Education is also important in politics. When people understand how politics works, they can make better choices. If people only listen to false news, they might believe lies. But if they learn about history, government, and global issues, they can make smart decisions. A strong democracy depends on educated people who think carefully before choosing leaders.
Despite all the problems in global politics, there is also hope. Many countries are working together to fight climate change, end poverty, and promote peace. Young people are more active in politics than ever before. They use their voices to demand change. This shows that the future can be better if people stay informed and take action.
The world is full of different cultures, ideas, and governments. It is not always easy for countries to agree, but cooperation is necessary for peace and progress. Every country, big or small, has a role in shaping global politics. Leaders come and go, but the decisions they make can last for generations. That is why people must pay attention to what happens in the world.
Politics affects every person, no matter where they live. It decides how people work, travel, and live their daily lives. By understanding global politics, people can help make the world a better place. Thank you for joining us in this discussion. We hope this podcast has helped you learn more about global politics and why it is so important.